This video is brought to you by my overworked schedule. This summer we have many conventions happening, so if you want to come see us, I'll be in Atlanta, Grand Rapids, New York, San Antonio, Lexington, Charleston, and Youmacon in Detroit, Michigan. Come buy a body pillow, or a regular pillow, or a Pokemon plush. Come say hi, we can hang after dealer's room hours. Come see Alex, she's cute. Come see me, Anyway, see you guys if you're going to any of these conventions. Howdy friendos, and welcome to the Thanos video. And if you've been following the channel for a while, you might be thinking that it's probably a little early, but honestly, hyping up Thanos is more difficult for me than you might think. As everyone knows, Thanos is the big bad of the Infinity Saga of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And while his comic past and his movie might be similar, I've definitely learned by now not to place a ton of importance on what is in one medium and what is in another. I've seen too many episodes of game theory to make that mistake. Anyway, Thanos is a titan from a world of the same name. Some time ago, his planet was under the threat of annihilation via overpopulation, so Thanos offered a solution of calling half the population on their planet in order to save the rest. The solution he offered was meant to be as fair as possible, meaning it would be determined by lottery and random chance, claiming that the balance it would bestow would bring normalcy back to the planet. The planet, ignoring this suggestion, was eventually brought to destruction, and Thanos left the planet to begin a crusade to save the universe by wiping out half of all life. One after another, he would visit planet after planet, destroying half the populace, leaving the rest to prosper with now abundant resources comparable to the remaining people on that world. For the next 1,000 years, Thanos tore through the universe till he learned of the Infinity Stones, a set of magical artifacts that, when combined, would allow him to accomplish his goal immediately and painlessly. As he traveled through the cosmos, he started a twisted family, through forced adoption, mind you, and founded a cult that either believed in his cause or allied with him for access to his growing military. Now, one thing I would like to remind people about my videos is that I am asking specifically what D&D alignment is Thanos. I am not asking, is Thanos correct? Nor am I asking, should we enact a similar plan? I am simply stating, based on the actions that Thanos does in the MCU, what alignment would be most appropriate. Normally, I don't put that much emphasis on the nature of my topic, but I feel that I very much have to in this particular video because there has been a lot of actual academic articles published about how there is logic to this idea that less people means more prosperous nations. I will also be doing something that I rarely do in my videos, and I will be giving the villain the benefit of the doubt. Thanos firmly believes that his plan to restore balance to the universe by wiping out half the population will work. He honestly and truly thinks his dark and evil actions are completely justified and that he is saving everyone by killing half of everyone else. This will be one of the few times I ever do this, but we will start Thanos' alignment at true neutral because I'm certain that if he were a real life person, he would label himself as that. Get mad if you want, but I promise that he won't stay that way, and I'm pretty sure we kind of all know where he's going to end up, at least if you're familiar with my videos. Also, we are not doing the Wario Thanos from Endgame because he is a different character pretty much. I mean, I'll talk about him in the post-analysis, but that's it. So be sure to stick around for the post-analysis because I have a lot to say about Thanos and his philosophy. And with that out of the way, let's go.
You should have gone for the head. He is ready to lead. And our force, our Chitauri, will follow.
Okay, so basically for the first several Marvel movie appearances are Thanos dealing with lesser villains like Loki, Ronan, and maybe Ultron. Anyway, despite the fact that Thanos has a massive army, he still delegates the tasks of scouring the universe for Infinity Stones to lesser beings, lawful evil.
But return to me again empty-handed, and I will bathe the Starways in your blood.
Granted, he does send Gamora and Nebula to micromanage Roman the Accuser, so I'm going to give this another lawful evil. And let's just give him a third lawful evil as a blanket stance on him making alliances with other evil creatures for their evil goals. Also, one chaotic evil for the construction of the Infinity Gauntlet. He killed 299 dwarves and left one alive with just his hands. How's that for 50%? Although technically he only wiped out half the Xandarans after collecting the Power Stone, so one additional neutral evil, forget that, I guess.
I feel like everything's gonna work out fine.
His first real action in the movies is wiping out half the Asgardian vessel. He then stays aboard specifically so he could extort Loki for the Tesseract by torturing Thor. He beats the hell out of the Hulk, but doesn't kill him while he's down, though he does kill Heimdall when he summons the Bifrost. After getting the Space Stone, it's unclear if he was going to leave, but someone pointed out in my Loki video that Loki may have attempted to kill Thanos because he knows about Thanos' 50% execution reputation and painted a target on himself to save Thor. Either way, the fact that he murders both Heimdall and Loki and leaves Thor to die while crying over the corpse of his brother leads me to believe this is more chaotic evil than neutral evil.
There are 2 more stones on Earth. Find them, my children, and bring them to me untitled.
He then sends his children to Earth to retrieve the other stones. In all fairness, he doesn't say kill the Avengers or wipe out half the planet. He just sends them to collect the stones. Although Ebon Maw does start his whole "you are about to die" speech when he gets there, but I suppose technically lawful neutral.
Is that sadness I sense in you, daughter? In my heart, I knew you still cared. But one never knows for sure.
After he heads to nowhere, he seemingly kills and destroys everyone there, including the Collector, and steals the Reality Stone. I'm just going to give this a neutral evil since it doesn't seem like he spared half of them like he normally does.
She's asked, hasn't she?
He then does this weird thing to test Quirrell's resolve in order to kill Gamora. He never intended to let Gamora die, he just wanted to see if Peter would do it. When he says,
I like you.
Before teleporting away, I think this was his way of approving of his daughter's boyfriend. I think this is chaotic, but I'm going to argue neutral since it was more satisfying his own curiosity than honoring Gamora's wishes.
I thought you might be hungry.
Once Thanos gets back to the ship, he offers Gamora some soup and discusses the philosophy of his 50% elimination plan. He seems to firmly believe that he is justified in his plan, and this discussion doesn't really warrant a ding. But later, he reveals that he is aware Gamora lied about the location of the Soul Stone. So he tortured Nebula until Gamora revealed the location. He then has Nebula put back together by a grunt, even though he was under no obligation to. I'm just going to give this a lawful evil.
I am disappointed. But not because you didn't find it. Because you did. And you lied.
Thanos takes Gamora to Vormir and learns that the cost of the stone is the soul and sacrifice of a loved one. Thanos, realizing that he won't be able to complete his quest without the soul stone, sacrifices Gamora against her will. This is the only moment at the time of writing where I deliberated on where to put his actions, since this is the first time we really see Thanos sacrifice anything he cares about personally. I think since Gamora is completely an unwilling participant in the whole thing, we're gonna have to label this as neutral evil instead of chaotic good.
I think you'll find our will equal to yours.
Our?
Thanos teleports to Titan, where he planned to meet Ebon Maw, but instead is greeted by Doctor Strange. He explains that his 50% plan was only as a means for salvation for his planet. How he knows this is anyone's guess, but it does lead to a Nat 20 fight versus the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Iron Fam. After taking out the Guardians, he has a one-on-one duel with both Doctor Strange and Iron Man, to which he handedly defeats both of them. Once he stabs Tony, Doctor Strange then makes a deal to spare him for the Time Stone, to which Thanos respects. I'll give this whole thing a lawful evil. And, of course, Thanos invades Earth, walks through the Avengers, survives Vision, takes the Mind Stone, and is nearly stopped by Thor before he gets off the snap, wiping out half the population of the universe. He does give Thor some helpful advice before retreating to the garden, where he tends to rest for the remainder of his days. Neutral evil.
Where are the stones?
Gone. Reduced to atoms.
You used them 2 days ago.
I used the stones to destroy the stones.
Thanos then uses the power of the Infinity Gauntlet to destroy the stones, guaranteeing that no one can undo his work. I would argue that getting rid of the tools that tie reality together is completely neutral evil. As he is being confronted for his crimes, Thanos confesses and begins to attempt to mend bridges with Nebula. Not as any sort of life-preserving method, but just an acknowledgement that he treated her too harsh. He is interrupted, however, by an angry Thor. Lawful neutral for the confession.
I am inevitable.
So, who had money that he wasn't going to be evil? Which of you was it? Shame on you. Go to the shame corner. Now, to be fair, if you thought that Thanos might be neutral, I don't blame you for thinking that. Thanos himself was absolutely convinced he was a good or possibly neutral force for the universe. And again, his philosophy on what he was doing is interesting to discuss in its own rights, because both in the Avengers universe and in our own universe, it has been proven that a sudden massive population de-escalation can have positive economic and environmental benefits. The discussion itself is interesting and almost nuanced. The nuanced discussion, however, then immediately ends when you realize that Thanos does absolutely no active good in the universe. Thanos arrives on a planet, completely disrupts the law and order of the planet, destroys the infrastructure, sows utter chaos, and then leaves. He might only kill half, but more people die of Thanos' actions than just the ones that his army kills, especially with the snap. I promise you that if Alex died randomly due to a dillo-colored alien doing West Side Story, you would never hear from me again. He doesn't give them new technology, he doesn't explain his actions or elaborate, because let's face it, Eben Maul isn't even telling people that they're calling an overpopulation problem. He's just giving his best Westboro Baptist Church speech and then goes away. Not to mention that he also abducts children whenever he likes and turns them into killing machines, whether they want to or not. Sure, he isn't a liar, and the places he leaves does actively get better, but it's not thanks to Thanos' actions that this happens. Thanos is a killing machine, and it is purely the resilience of life that things get better. This isn't the Viltrumites from Invincible who conquer a planet and then manage to make it better. This is purely murder for the sake of a gamble that will likely kill way more than what he originally set out to do. So no, Thanos is nothing but an evil dictator. Also, if we talk about Wario Thanos, he's in the middle of his arc right around Avengers Ultron, or right after the first Avengers movie, so he's probably somewhere in the lawful evil territory there, because he just comes in and then he's going to kill people for the sake of it. So chaotic evil, it's whatever, he's not the same guy. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, check out all my convention schedules, and I will see you next time.